The following stream contains mature content and subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised. Chicago. Ask someone to picture the city, and they will have trouble coming up with a concise description. When people think of New York City, they think of skyscrapers, subways, and muggers. When they think of Los Angeles, they think of sun, smog, and traffic. When they think of Detroit, they think of cars, factories, and decay. But for those of us that know, there's only one thing we think of when someone mentions Chicago: vampires. And tonight, we tell their story. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Windy City After Dark, Season 4 Intermissions. Of course, as always, the intermissions are a series of scenes that are not central to the story, but they actually help establish some of the events going on behind the scenes, as well as to lay some plot lines for later story threads for everybody. So I hope you enjoy tonight's scenes, and please enjoy. Good evening, and of course, for this scene, as always, I am the storyteller, Shaggy McStabber.
And I'm Rylyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Durand of Clan Ventru.
And this scene is actually occurring in Milwaukee. There's some business that Jackie needed to attend that is rather important. And she's headed out to Milwaukee to go to Syndexioi Limited. It's a securities firm, but there's more to it than meets the eye. And when you arrive at this building, it's actually a rather large building. His offices are the entire 41st floor of the U.S. Bank Center there, or Bank Center, the tallest building in Milwaukee. But that's not where you're supposed to meet him tonight. You're actually supposed to meet him in an underground section under it, the Mithraeum. Now, you already have a key to get down there to the underground portion through the elevator. And when you ride the elevator down, you actually come down into, well, it's a large waiting room. It's a place where people can change if they have to, but it's attached to, well, the main sanctuary for the cult.
Jackie is not changing this evening. It is not a night of ceremony. This is just a private meeting that she has with her pater.
And in walks a man you know. He's of Indian descent, but he has a well-clipped British accent, about average height, lithe build. He has a real practiced bearing as he comes in. His beard is well oiled. He's got an immaculate suit on. And he's wearing just 2 simple rings. But when you come in, he looks at you.
She does a full curtsy. Later.
He nods again, and before he says a word, he actually turns over and he puts on a set of silken robes. And he actually belts on a Konda sword. And then he takes up a wooden rod and he holds it in the same hand that's a ruby ring is on his finger. Jacqueline?
I come bearing news.
Please, step into the sanctum.
And she follows him.
And as he goes in there, tonight the sanctum is empty. Though there is a large bull altar in the center of the room. And the place is actually adorned with multiple carven bulls, as befits Mithras. I know you haven't been here in a while, but I understand.
My duties have kept me very busy. I unfortunately must bear bad news to you. Leo Wilhelm has fallen. And she presents to him a box from a shoulder bag she had. His mask for you.
He takes the box and he opens up and looks inside at the mask.
And it is a gilded lion's face.
Closes the box. I knew he was in town.
Indeed.
But he hadn't communicated lately. How did he fall?
Tally on orders of Marcus Vitel. I advised him to run. He decided to stand his ground.
Wow. It would make sense. You must embrace the young or protect them.
I understand.
My last communications with him were odd. Struck me as odd. He did not seem himself.
He had endured much. His duties to the tower took much from him.
It's a shame.
Indeed. But in the end, he nearly took Tally out with him.
It's a shame we've lost the blood.
Indeed.
His falling could have strengthened us all. But
I also have, and she takes out from her bag a vial of what remains of his ashes that she collected.
He takes them and...
You may need them.
Thank you.
Of course. I honored him with a funerary rite.
It weakens us to lose him.
It does. But he taught me much.
So, what have you been doing in Chicago? And what has been going on?
Well, my child, Abigail Roll, has successfully completed her test. She completely resisted corruption from her association with Aluk and Alexa. And I was able to glean valuable information on those two.
So you wish to initiate her as a Korax?
Indeed.
I will give it thought.
I appreciate your consideration. Also, I have been learning much about those that reside in Chicago. I have personally eliminated one Setite, Thea Noel McCrane. I have laid plans for the elimination of another, a Luke himself. And I am beginning investigation into Thea's sire, Marcel.
The names are all familiar to me. Tell me, have you found any of Clan Ventru that you think would strengthen the cult? I know you mentioned your child.
Yes, I believe she would be of benefit.
But I am also looking in terms of someone who can expand our influence over the court itself. If not, just keep that...
Not yet, but I will keep it in mind. There may be some potentials.
Exactly. I have met with failure with any attempts I've made, but I'm an outsider.
I've started to ingratiate myself into the upper echelons of their society.
As you should.
I will definitely keep my eyes peeled for that. Also, elders of some strength and age are working their machinations in the city.
So you found out about that?
Of course.
What do you know of them?
Well, let's see. Helena herself runs a succubus club.
Portia?
And another has recently awoken. That I believe is an enemy of hers.
Was he Mediterranean?
Of course he was.
You see, I haven't been here that long. Just prior to the fall of London. But you'd be amazed what I've already uncovered.
I would be very pleased to hear it.
And he actually walks over and stands by the bull altar. Join me.
And she does.
How much of history do you know?
Not an insignificant amount, but I do not claim to have a full breadth knowledge.
Do you know the full details of Carthage? Not the rumors.
Only bits, only rumors.
It was the pride of the Bruja. And oddly enough, Helen. She helped them form it. Build it. But then the Ventru declared war on it. From what I understand, she decided they were the losing side. So she went to Clan Ventru with a proposition. In exchange for her not being considered part of the destruction of Carthage and for being let to go her way, she would tell them all of the defenses of the city, how to bypass the protections, and would help take it down from the inside.
I imagine if one of the Brujas survived that, he would have quite the grudge.
One of them wasn't there. Minale.
Oh.
Of Clan Bruja.
Indeed.
He returned, as we understand it, to the city after it was destroyed and found out her part. And he swore vengeance. Now, he'd been in Chicago a while, the both of them. But rumor had it he was dead.
No, he had done some sort of ritual. Suppressed his beast, his blood, was hidden while he slept.
We don't have a lot on him. He was always cagey. From my understanding, he always had the weaker hand of the two of them.
Well, when you have a face that can launch 1,000 ships, I imagine it's not difficult to get assistance in your plans.
And with the age of those involved, they're less likely to duke it out in the street, you might say.
Of course.
But he is crafty. He has always managed to survive by pulling the wool over her eyes. Sounds like he's done it again.
I believe he is already making waves. There has been a major shakeup in the Primogen Council in Chicago.
Well, tell me. I don't get that much info out here, of course.
Yes. Rosa Hernandez is losing her position as Gangrel Primogen. There will not be a Gangrel Primogen as far as I can tell. Miss Khadija Al-Kendi is actually going to be likely Primogen of the Banu.
So I'll have a Primogen.
Indeed. I'm not sure. Sun has been missing for some time. I'm not sure who the replacement Malkavian Primogen will be. I heard rumor that Khalid was actually stepping down and likely will be naming a replacement.
Now, given what I know of the city, there's not many choices that could replace him.
I agree.
The one best suited wouldn't take it. He won't leave his damn lake.
There's one that looks out for his people that I think will.
You'll have to tell me about it if he takes over.
Indeed. And, well, perhaps there will be a Ventru Primogen so that I can actually talk to someone other than Alan.
Prince Decker will be interested to hear of Rosa's fall. Given her hatred of the Lupine, maybe he can entice her to come out here and join the Anubis.
It may be a better fit for her. She unfortunately thoroughly embarrassed herself in Elysia, calling out the prince for his stupidity.
Well, that clan's never been very good at the subtleties.
No.
But that's actually quite useful. I'm sure Decker will be quite happy with me if I bring that to him.
Indeed. Indeed. So I will let you know when everything is official so you can make your approach.
Thank you. I'll lay the groundwork now. Bring up that if we could convince her to leave her Primogen seat, she would be very useful. And when it turns out she's lost it, well, how fortunate. We've already
Indeed.
put that bug in his ear. I like that.
I am glad that my information could be of use to you.
Yeah. While you're here, we have to discuss something else anyway.
Oh. I am at your leisure.
The time has come. With the passing of your sire, it is time for you to leave the ranks of the Nymphos. In 1 week, you will report back to me. There, you will go through the ceremony of fire and be reborn.
Of course, Pater.
You will become a Miles, one of our soldiers. It is time.
Thank you. It is an honor.
You've served well.
If I may ask one question.
Of course.
Who was your informant on Menele? It would help me to know who my allies are in Chicago.
Wineka. He's not one of us. But oddly enough, we've gotten to him anyway.
Excellent.
He respects law.
Yes, he does.
And order.
He truly does.
And the tower. And we are nothing if not behind the tower.
Of course.
I don't know how far I trust him. But his info, I do trust.
He is very good at what he does. Thank you for sharing that with me. I've had some dealings with him myself and have found him to be very beneficial when I needed him.
Yes, if you can pay his price, he is very beneficial.
Indeed.
I find history lessons don't cost as much. Especially when we have common goals.
That is the key to using him to the best advantage.
That is. You understand.
Of course I do.
And he does respect order.
He does.
So, anything else bring you to Milwaukee?
Actually, yes. A friend of mine from way back needs me to stop by pay her a visit.
And who would that be?
Isabella Caputa?
Good idea. Visit her. See if you can convince her to leave.
Will do.
I've heard rumors that she's upset Decker. And he's not one that takes people upsetting him. So if you can convince her to leave, please do.
I'll see what I can do. How are things going with Decker?
He listens to me. I'm an advisor now.
Excellent.
I'm not sure where he stands with his Anubis joining us. But he does see we have compatible goals.
Excellent. Never doubted it for a moment.
It's time. It's all it will take, time. Time to convince him of the rightness of what we do. And how we can give him and his soldiers purpose. Guide them. It's going as well as I can, though.
I will do what I can to find those inclined within Chicago proper.
Very good.
We must bolster our ranks. There's far too much chaos that has been sown here for too long.
And if London can fall, any city can fall.
I fear Paris will be next.
Possible. What do you know of what's happened in Europe?
Unfortunately, not much.
You've heard the rumors that Mithras fell.
Of course.
I feared he had as well. But Lord Mithras is... he's a walking god. And in recent nights, I've begun to hear him whisper again. In the back of my head.
Excellent.
I don't know if he was hurt or what he did, but he is not dead.
Excellent.
We will survive.
We will endure.
And I hear that we've taken Edinburgh.
Really?
Oh, yes. We've taken it completely.
Excellent.
In just a few nights, it went from, well, not ours to ours. And I do mean ours as in all court members were removed and replaced.
Excellent.
The church grew stronger.
Who is Prince there now?
Well, if you believe it, Roger de Camden.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yep. That's what I've heard.
Excellent. Well, thank you for that.
I didn't want you to lose hope. I know many of our belief have.
I have always followed for the purpose. And I have never lost hope in that purpose.
A number of our groups have fallen, lost their way, thinking Lord Mithras is gone. But I have heard his voice. He's still around. There were contingencies in place.
Of course.
I shall see you in 1 week.
Thank you, Pater, for your time this evening.
Thank you for coming to tell me.
Of course.
Goodbye, Nymphis Durand, for the final time.
Have a lovely evening. And she turns and leaves the sanctum.
And as you leave, you see him sitting there with his hands just resting on the altar, head bowed. Hello? For this scene, this one actually occurs the same night as Jackie had a meeting here in Milwaukee. But before she leaves, she has one other side trip she needs to make. Now in this scene, I will let the players introduce themselves.
I am R'lyn Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Doron.
I'm Mischievous Red, and I'll be playing Isabella Caputo.
And as Jackie comes out from her previous meeting, the Wolfpack, at least a number of them are there waiting, Dread and Nitro being the two main members waiting outside the building, but a good number of the bikes are there because of traveling the Goblin roads tonight. And as you come over, Dread actually looks at you. You done?
Nearly. Need to stop by one place on the way out.
Okay.
Forgotten Lands. It's brewery down in Lakeshore. On the way out.
Catching a beer on our way out? I mean...
It's a friend's place.
Okay. Sure thing. And he looks over at Nitro. Let's roll. And you and the Wolfpack set out to head to this brewery. Now, when you arrive at the brewery, I'm going to let the owner of the brewery actually describe the place.
So I would have actually closed up a little bit early, knowing that Jackie's going to come. I want us to have a more private discussion. So it's nearly empty, what you typically expect of a brewery, where it has the long counter with the drafts on tap, some board games in the corner for that more kitschy feel, and just me behind the bar.
And Jackie walks in, unaccompanied. Isabella!
Jackie, how are you?
It is good to see you. I'm well, thank you. And she walks up to the bar. So you needed to see me.
I did. I'm so glad you could come on such short notice.
I had other plans in the city. I had a meeting I had to attend, and it just worked coincidentally. So, serendipity.
I had actually heard you were going to be in town. I've heard quite a few things about your endeavors in Chicago. Seems like you've got quite the place for yourself now.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. I've been, oh goodness, tasked with domain management in Wicker Park, along with some associates, my coterie. And it has been an undertaking, but we have done very well for ourselves.
How would you feel about having another set of hands help out with the area?
Are you looking to leave?
I am. I'd like to call in that favor from all those years ago.
Oh, goodness.
It's been a bit, but I don't feel like Milwaukee is the best place for me currently.
Well, of course I will repay the favor for you. Let's see. You are here for the convention, so the prince already knows who you are. How about this? How about I ensure that, are you ready to leave now?
Yes.
Okay.
Like I said, I knew you were coming.
I can arrange for your transport. Your assistant.
Amelia?
Yes, Emilio. He can get a ride as well.
Perfect.
If you have people here that can arrange for shipping, you'll effects, then that's perfect. But yes, we can get a ride tonight. I have quite the entourage tonight. And I will also speak to the prince on your behalf.
I do appreciate that.
Yes.
After what's happened previously, I'm trying to lay as low as I can and avoid most drama, but you know how that can be. Kindred society.
Indeed, indeed. What has you in such a hurry to leave?
I mean, I still don't know what happened to Vivian, so that's had me on edge for years. And then with the Lupine War not really becoming a thing in Chicago, it seems like the aggressiveness have moved up here a little bit. And with Prince Decker and his history with the Lupines, it has me on edge, and it doesn't feel like the best place.
I understand. Yes, we can leave tonight. Do you have somewhere to stay in Chicago proper? Do you need hospitality?
I have a place to stay. I've already arranged everything. I just need the transport.
Yep.
I need the coterie.
Absolutely. I will arrange transport this, right now, and then once I am able to get in with the prince, it may be a few nights tops, but that gives you some time to get settled and things. I'll speak with the prince on your behalf and get him to assign you to the Wicker Park coterie.
Perfect. Is there anything I need to be aware of in advance?
Absolutely. And it is good that we have a private moment here that I can discuss this with you.
Would you like a drink?
I would love to taste your latest brew.
Here. And Isabella will pull a sour on draft. Her bar or her brewery is more known for its IPAs, but sours tend to be better for us. So she hands Jackie a sour.
And she actually sniffs it and then takes a swallow, tastes it. Even I can taste that.
Exactly.
I may have to place an order for some of that.
Well, now you'll know where to find me.
Absolutely. Yes, in the city, there are a few things going on. There's been recent disturbances within the Primogen Council. Likely some positions will be changed within the council. There has been, you're from Europe. You know how this goes, where old ones with nothing but their grudges left tend to play their games behind the scenes.
Oh, yes.
Yes, there's 2 of those now in Chicago.
Oof. I've had more experience in that than I have with lupines, though. So
yes, at least the lupine situation has settled down. Actually, one of, soon to be your future associates actually had something to do with that.
Oh.
La Marcade, he is a La Sombra. He actually is very loyal to the tower. So I'm very surprised by this, but he actually spoke very candidly and peacefully with lupines that he had crossed paths with and had them think about possible peace.
Oh, that's definitely different than the situation here.
So there is that. Avoid the succubus club.
To be expected.
One of those elders that we are known to play those games and use tools and break them runs that place, so you'll want to avoid it.
I have heard we are similar clans after all.
Yes. Yes. There is Resurrection Cemetery. There's something very strange and old living there as well, to avoid that.
Interesting.
Yes. Very strange. Definitely some cult activity. Bahari, perhaps even fanatical Bahari going on in the city. South Side is a mess. There's a turf war going on there. But my coterie has some interest in South Side, so we are hoping that once that resolves and gets cleaned up, that we will be able to assert some influence there.
Would be nice.
And basically, we need to avoid Chinatown at all costs.
What's in Chinatown?
It's some interest of Tremere, but there is basically, it's off limits to Kindred. And that, Kindred can do normal business, but not Kindred business there. But we just avoid it at all costs because there is something that rules over Chinatown called the Jade Demon. And it is certainly supernatural.
Okay.
So, trying to think what else. It just seems like there has been so much. Oh yes, there's a spirit of the earth in the lake that has been fucking around with things.
At least there'll be a group of kindred to help look out for each other. We've been quite isolated here.
Yes, indeed. Oh, and Second Inquisition has been an issue in the city.
It's hard to find a place where it's not an issue anymore.
True. But we have some plans for that, so perhaps we'll be able to turn things to our favor a little bit.
Well, I look forward to working with you again, Jackie.
Absolutely. It will be a pleasure. But yes, I promise it's not all bad. There's just a lot that is bad. But there is some good there as well. There are many interesting individuals that seek for the betterment of the city there. So hopefully you can make it a home.
I look very forward to it. I mean, much bigger than Milwaukee. I'm sure there's a lot more to do.
I know that you have your tap room here attached to your brewery. I have an establishment. It's got some loose ends to it. I need to get tied up first before I can do anything, really. But I would like, at some point after you get settled, for us to discuss it more because I think it has the potential to be an excellent brew pub.
Now you're speaking my language.
There's an old speakeasy in the basement.
Wow, that brings back memories.
Indeed. Yes, it is in the domain. It is Sylvester's Steakhouse. It was one that was granted with us with the domain. However, there is an issue with it being haunted that I wish to resolve. And also, Second Inquisition took an interest in it shortly after we obtained the domain. So I want to make sure that that is resolved as well.
Definitely. I'd be more than willing to help with that. If I move to Chicago, after all, I'm going to need a new place to set up. Seems like the perfect spot.
Excellent. I currently have controlling interest in that establishment, and if you decide it is an ideal location for you, we can discuss terms on how we can transfer that ownership.
Sounds perfect to me, Jackie.
All right. Well, Isabella, if you are ready, go ahead and get Emilio, and we can head out.
So, without really even having to say anything, Emilio walks out from the back room, and he's ready to go, carrying Isabella's bags.
We doing this?
We are.
Emilio, it is good to see you again.
Been a while.
Indeed.
You haven't changed.
Neither have you.
Well, I don't know. My hair's a little longer. Come on.
Let us go. Our chariots await.
As you go outside, Isabella, you recognize the Wolfpack. You knew him from the Chicago convention. You saw him. And it seems like a portion of them are actually out front waiting.
Not quite the entourage.
Dredd looks over. You're bringing Isabella?
Yes. Isabella and her assistant Emilio need transport to Chicago.
She don't know me, but I know who she is. And one of the guys that, Jackie, you recognize, it's Como. It's one of Antheus's, as far as you could tell, a ghoul. He speaks up. Isabella can ride with me. She can ride in front. And then Nitro actually looks over at him and goes, Really? Show some class. And she looks over, Nitro looks over. Just, you can hop on my back of my bike. And then Nitro said, you know, if you want to offer, you can offer her man there to ride in front of you, Como. And he just, no, not my type. Sorry.
I'd enjoy it.
Not my type.
He's had quite the amount of experience. I'm sure he could sway you.
And Dredd starts laughing.
Jackie's laughing too.
Hop on. No, you haven't done this very often. Just hold on to Nitro over there, and if anything happens, don't let go.
I'll be sure to keep that in mind.
If you see anything strange, don't talk about it. We may or may not have seen it. We don't know. Different for everybody who goes through here. As long as you hold on, you'll be okay. We know the ways.
Sounds like quite the adventure.
And when you get on Nitro's bike, she don't have a helmet or anything. I'm assuming you don't need a helmet?
Think I'll be okay.
I mean, we could steal one from one of the boys back there. But
And more, I enjoy the risk.
gotta let the wind blow through your hair. It's all we got left these nights.
Exactly.
And Dredd looks over. Is this it, Jackie? Any other stops?
This is it, promise. Thank you so much.
Okay, you know. Favor for favors. That's how that is.
Of course.
Let's ride out.
Mm-hmm.
And as you set out, and all these, actually, it's funny. Everyone's on a Harley, except for Nitro, of course. She's got her little crotch rocket. She wants to be different than the rest, and you ride out into the night to head into Chicago. And this is actually where we're going to conclude this particular scene, with Jackie bringing a new to Chicago friend. But somebody Jackie's known a while because a debt has been paid in. And of course, I'd like to thank my wife for her role in this and for Isabella's first scene as, well, Isabella. Thank you, Mischievous Red. And
Thanks for having me.
we will see you for the next intermission, everybody. Hello again. And for this scene, I am, of course, the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Merlin Dare, also known as Mama McStabber in Twitch chat, and I'll be playing Jacqueline Duran of Clan Ventru.
Good evening. I am the Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
And the events of this actually occurred the night after Jackie went to Milwaukee. It's right before Jenny has to go on a trip. And Jenny's arrived at the cabaret tonight. Did Evan drive you, or did you drive yourself?
Evan probably drove me. Should have anyway.
Hey, am I allowed to go in while you're talking? I can go in and watch, right?
Yes, Evan, you can come in.
Good. Cool.
No touching.
I would, no. Trust me, I've seen the look on Miss Duran's face. No, I'm not going to touch her workers. I know better than that.
Yeah, well, just, get load up. You're going to have a busy couple weeks, so.
Perfect. And he parks the car. And, as you go in, of course, he immediately steps away to let you do your thing as he goes and finds him a table to watch.
Actually, Jackie is reading to one of her fans tonight.
Well, Evan avoids interrupting any of that.
And as she finishes, she collects the chips from her fan, and she turns and she sees them, and she smiles and walks over to one of her other staff members and hands the chips to the staff and says, make sure those are dispersed. And walks over to Jenny. Good evening, Jenny.
Good evening, Jackie.
Oh, Evan.
Yeah.
Do enjoy yourself. Marcia, everything this gentleman wants tonight is on the house.
Hey, this is going to be good. I need to come here more often.
Yeah, pack as much as you can in about 10 minutes there, Evan, because hey, look, there's always got to be a little bit of a downside. So
Okay, I've got 10 minutes. Give me the best you have.
I guarantee you will get the best experience you can in that time. Come, Jenny, let's go to my office.
of course.
And as you head back to the office, as always, Etienne is actually watching the hallway that leads down into our office area, and he just nods at you as you walk by.
And as we go in, I say, go ahead and have a seat. And I close the door behind us and sit down at the desk.
Genevieve sits down at the chair across from the desk or on the other side. So yeah. You wanted to speak with me, Mr. Rond? Sorry, have it.
Jackie.
I know. It's habit. We're working there. It's baby steps. I get it. I get one right. I get one wrong. It's just how it works.
It's okay. But no, while I can be formal, there's no need amongst friends. I found out some information on the Mediterranean dad bod, as you called it.
Look, if the dad bod fits, then just I hope this individual never finds out that I called them that, because I really don't want them showing up and being like, that's a blood bond, and I'll be like, but no.
Really, no.
No, please. So
no, yes, it is definitely he is an old Bruja. Goes by the name Menelaus. Basically Menelaus from history, king of Sparta.
Okay, so this goes back to the what was it, I believe Fiorenza asked me about the Trojan War, so I guess the pieces are kind of coming together.
The reason he basically has it out for Helena is because she was the reason that my clan was able to destroy Carthage.
Oh, okay. It's I guess that's the more historical reading I have to figure out, because a lot of these places, they don't mean shit to me.
Okay, Carthage was an ancient city that the Bruja had established where they basically coexisted with humans.
Oh, okay.
It was their version of utopia.
I mean, isn't that... I'm sorry, I coexist with humans, as it were.
Exactly.
So for me, I'm like, I feel like that seems like a win for us.
It was for quite some time, actually, from what I understand. Helena had worked with the Bruja to establish this city. Ventru decided that they, for some reason, I don't know all of the history of some of my clan, but they decided that obviously there was some interest in destroying this city. And Helena decided that the one likely to win would be Clan Ventru. So she went to Clan Ventru and told them secrets on the city. Ways to penetrate the city and destroy it. And basically, for that, she wanted protection. She wanted to be an anonymous informant. And Menelaus, or Meneli, as he goes by, was not there at the time that it fell. When he returned to his home, it was destroyed. And he found out that she was the reason. So, he has been chasing her for eons. And she always seems to have the upper hand. She is the face that launched 1,000 ships. She can always get reinforcements and allies when she needs them.
Yeah.
She is very canny, but he is very wily. And he is also canny.
Okay, I don't know. I'm not a strategist. That's why I pay people
Exactly
to think some of the complexities, some of the bigger stuff. But unless I'm just being too naive, I feel like her deciding to pick a side set that side up to win for sure. Because like if she hadn't told the Ventru,
Oh,
You
it
know what?
did. She
You
gave
know
them the
what?
secrets they needed to win.
Exactly. So she's just a bitch. Okay.
Yeah.
So she's like she's like bitch patient
She's
zero.
an opportunist, is what she
Oh.
is.
Oh, well.
She is an opportunist. And she was always a frickin' queen, a princess and a queen, and so she's used to getting her way. So, needless to say, that's the type of character you're dealing with in Portia.
Yeah.
And Mineley is, for all intents and purposes, kind of the polar opposite. He worked to achieve his glory. He was a soldier that rose through the ranks. Based on the history of that figure. So, they just have an ancient grudge match. And he basically has the upper hand right now because she thought he was dead.
You know, maybe it's the wrong view from me, but fuck her. So I'm kind of glad he's got the upper hand.
Indeed.
Like,
But that is who the players are now.
I gotcha.
That-
Okay. Well.
Storyteller?
Yes.
I would actually like to use my clan merit
Okay.
on Menelaus, as that is a kindred that we had interacted with.
Sneaky.
Mm-hmm.
Going to use the Clan Ventru clan merit, which was in the compendium, or
Companion.
the companion for anyone who doesn't have that book. It
One
allows
relevant information.
allows you to get one piece of relevant information from the storyteller on somebody you've interacted with.
I've also interacted with Cratius.
I'm going to give you Menelay. If what you've heard is true from others, matter of fact, what you've heard is true from Streck before her passing. Pompeii and its destruction was his fault. He unleashed a volcano on the city in an attempt to kill his enemy, though you didn't at the time know who his enemy was.
Yes, well, needless to say, he can be quite ruthless. I am aware that... you've heard of Pompeii, yes? The city where the
Yeah.
volcano blew and killed all those people?
Yeah, that was a big hoopla, whatever.
Yeah, that was a huge natural disaster, according to the humans. That was him.
Dang. Well,
He basically
mean-
made it blow to try to kill her.
oh, well. Yeah, okay. The more you talk about this, the more it sounds like they just need to fang bang, fuck, get it over with, like, because you don't the normal reaction to like I want to get you isn't I'm gonna drop a fucking volcano on you. It's come back to my tiled abode and we'll like make the walls slick with sweat or whatever. I don't fucking know. Like
Oh, Jenny. Yes.
or is this how the old ones show love? They're just like natural disasters.
I'm
That's
going
just
to
a lo-
rock your world, literally.
You know what? Cannot fault that logic.
Yes, so that's what we are dealing with. But, yeah. Well, that's what we're observing.
Okay, because I was gonna say I'm not planning on going out and being like, "Can I touch your abs?" Oh, and by the way,
No.
Portia's a bitch. No.
No.
Like I'm no. I
No.
not. Does not sound like a good time to me.
No.
I mean, that's why I was avoiding Portia in the first place, because everyone was like, "Stay away from that bitch," and I was like, "Can do." And now I'm like, definitely staying away from that bitch.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate the info. I appreciate being more in the fold, as it were,
Absolutely.
because it's difficult coming into a domain and hitting the ground running, especially when I was expecting to be like, oh, it's going to be another open up a restaurant, open up a hotel, grease some palms with some cash, that kind of deal, instead of like, by the way, there's an ancient grudge match going on. And yes, upside, I don't believe there's any volcanoes in Chicago, but
No.
I don't know for sure. So
No. But it does make me wonder certain things, but that's not important for now. But yes, it just makes me very curious.
As long as the curiosity doesn't involve you touching the dad bod.
No.
So
No.
we'll
Trust
be
me.
okay.
I have no interest in Mediterranean dad bod.
Okay. Because if you try to do that, I will have to be like, Etienne, come get your girl. So no, I'm glad we got to talk. I'm thankful for the information. I'm going to let you know, since I'm here in person, instead of sending you the like, by the way, text. Evan has limited time at the cabaret tonight because we are wheels up in like an hour or so.
Oh.
Yes. I was in contact with a old acquaintance who was willing to offer Roscoe assistance, but I kind of want to do the full sales pitch in person. That way it's a little bit more sincere. Plus, I need to how do I put this? If you don't stop in every once in a while and like,
people
shake
forget
the
you
hands
exist
and give hugs. Yes, you have to make sure that they know you're still alive.
Yes.
I was kind of reminded of that the other night, and so I'm kind of like, yeah, it's time to stop into Vegas. I need to make some arrangements, talk with a few individuals. So Evan and I will be out of Chicago for a little bit, but we will be back. So
well, of course, if you need me to, I'll stop into Phoenix from time to time while you're gone to just make sure everything's okay.
If you really want to, that's up to, I'm gonna leave that up to you.
Okay.
Because if they can't run it without me swinging through every night, then we have other major serious problems.
Then I'll only pop in once just to make sure that the mice aren't playing while the cat is away.
That sounds perfect.
Okay.
Though I will say I'm pretty sure that the ship is going to be okay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Because I was borrowing somebody and they were scared shitless they were going to get fired. And I was like, don't worry. It's not going to happen. I'm just talking to you. I will. So yes, I'm pretty sure they're not going to risk it. But if you want to stop in, and I will call over and say if Miss Duran shows up, anything she wants is on the house. So yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
There's got to be some benefits to this friendship. I mean, you're like, hey, here's some information about ancient beings, and I'm like, hey, here's a free meal that you're gonna have to. Yeah.
And I have a friend that, well, if my negotiation goes well, I have a friend that will be joining our coterie soon.
Sweet.
Yes.
Hopefully they're cool.
She is very cool. I think you'll like her. She's a lot of fun.
Okay, is she fun or is she like fun? Because everybody in this group seems to have a different idea.
Okay, you like
fun.
Melina, right?
Yeah, Melina's pretty cool.
She is kind of like fun in that way, but only she's a toreador, so it gets a little more extra.
Okay, well, I will reserve judgment then. So far, the toreador in the city have been a little...
She's not from the city. She's an old friend.
Okay. I'll give her a chance. I'm not saying I wouldn't give her a chance. I'm just saying what I was saying. And what I was
I
saying
know.
is that, like, you know, everybody's idea of fun is a little different. I mean, you know,
Did you not have fun with me at the bar?
It was fun.
See? I know what
But-
fun is.
But I mean, like, Roscoe's idea of fun is not something that I would consider my idea of fun. And Lamar's idea of fun, while slightly closer to my idea of fun, is getting a little spooky in his own way. I mean, what? Why did he fucking pick up that skull? I'm sorry. That's been on my mind. I've been wondering about that. I'm like, is that a Chicago thing?
I think that's just a Lamar thing.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Shit. I think I've given Evan more than 10 minutes. He's gonna be like,
he is going to be so spoiled.
yes, that's fine. I told him to have fun because we're gonna get to Vegas and he's gonna have to go run his own fucking errands and stuff. And so
yes, absolutely.
Not as much fun available at that time.
Absolutely, but well, very well. Of course, if you need me while you're over there, just let me know. I don't really have many connections there, but I'm sure I can get some quickly if I need it.
It's okay. Honestly, Vegas is like, it's kind of like my city, except not, but it's okay.
Okay.
It'll be great. It's gonna be fine. I'm looking forward to going back. So even if it's for a little bit, I mean, Chicago is Chicago, but you know.
Okay. Well,
Vegas is something different.
I'll inform the others. You don't have to bother. I'll inform the others.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Well,
you have a wonderful and safe trip.
Okay. You know what? You have fun at Elysia or whatever. I'm sorry. It's Chicago. I'm sorry.
It's all work.
I know. I think about going back to Vegas. And I'm just like, Vegas, baby. And then I'm
lucky
like,
you get a vacation. I'm always working.
Well, this is work related. It's a work vacation.
There you
of
go.
Sorts. So.
One night I will take a real vacation. One night.
Hey, if you ever want to go to Vegas, we can go do Vegas. Literally.
Jenny, get out of here.
Okay. Genevieve gets up and she, have a good one, Jackie. So I almost said Mr. Ron.
Good night, Jenny.
Night.
And when you get out to the main part of the club, Evan actually has two different people sitting at the table with him. Both of them are reading from books. He has a man and a woman, both of them reading to him. And you don't know how he's managing to follow both conversations, if he is at all. But he's definitely got two different people sitting in front of him reading from, looks like handwritten journals.
Genevieve walks over to the table and she puts her hand on the table. She's like, hand check.
Looks like Mom's here to interrupt the party. Marie Franco, it was a pleasure. But I have to go. I have business, apparently.
Oh, don't be so dour, Evan. You know what? You two will probably see him again. It's not like he's going somewhere and dying. He'll just act like that's the case.
Yeah. See, Mom's here to spoil the fun. It was a pleasure. And he gets up and straightens up his suit jacket a bit. To the airport?
Yes, let's get out of here.
And as you're leaving the place, he actually is just babbling kind of inanely about, both of them were reading erotic stories to him, and he thought it was the oddest but coolest thing he'd been part of in a while. And Jenny shortly thereafter arrives at a private airport to fly via private jet back to Vegas. And this is where, of course, we're going to end this scene. Thank you. And, see you for the next intermission, everybody. Hello, everyone. For this scene, this is not occurring in Chicago either. This is another scene outside the city. In this case, far outside the city. And it seems Genevieve Schutz has taken a trip back to Vegas And of course, I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am the Ivy Raven, and I play Genevieve Schutz of Clan Gangrel.
And I am Timber Brad 411, and I'll be playing Nicholas Bowens of Clan Hikata.
And Ginny is, of course, staying in her nice, luxurious suite that she has on call anytime she's planning to come back to Vegas. She has invited Nicholas to come see her because they have something to discuss. And I'm going to turn this over to the players as Nicholas has stepped out of the elevator into this luxurious penthouse suite in Vegas.
The door dings, and of course you hear some footsteps clacking, and Genevieve approaches you. Nicholas.
Genevieve, how are you doing?
Oh, I am no worse for wear. How are you?
I can't complain. Business has been good.
Well,
did you and Evan need me to help you with something again? It's a long time since I've seen you.
Yeah. You know what? First, we must catch up. So come. Standing by the elevator is so not hip. So
he kind of like looks down at himself.
Genevieve is going to turn, and she is going to escort you to a nicer room, and she's going to plop down on a couch.
Nicholas will follow. He stands probably for a little longer than seems like normal, and then he'll sit down.
No, seriously, how are you doing? Because I don't want to just jump straight into business. It's better to have the pleasantries, because I would consider us on friendly terms.
No, I mean, we've certainly had our fair share of misadventures, I guess. But no, business has been good. Great thing in a city such as Vegas is there's always an opportunity to make a little money.
A little money. You just. No, sorry. Are you trying to claim that we have gotten into a little trouble, or are you talking about you and Matthew?
No. It's just it's been a while since I heard from you, and I wasn't sure if maybe another gentleman or lady found themselves suddenly without the ground beneath them.
Oh, Nicholas. That sense of humor is going to see you thrown out a window eventually. I mean, I'm kidding. I kid. No. I had to take a trip. Well, it's an extended business staycation, as it were, to Chicago.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The jewel of the Camarilla, I hear.
It's a jewel of something. It's a little crusty, so it needs that elbow grease shine in places and not in others. It's, how can I say this? Chicago is interesting, but
how so?
I don't want to spoil everything, because I do have a business proposition for you. And I apologize that our, dropping in, calling you up, and you're probably thinking like, oh man, this bitch has got another body. But no, this time I have multiple bodies.
Oh, you know me, bodies do not bother me at all.
I know. But this also comes with a mystery. So in Chicago, there is a hand-dug hole in the ground full of skeletons, apparently. And these skeletons were used for something. A ritual is what I have been told, but they glow or something. I don't know. I didn't get all the details. It's above my pay grade.
At the mention of skeletons in a hand-dug hole, and it's the first time he's actually seemed to have like any like actual like excitement and interest. Like he's kind of like leaning forward in his seat, like aptly listening. Go on.
Well, let me see. What was it that Roscoe said? It was some sort of blood sorcery ritual. Some ancient being did something down there, and he said he saw chains. I don't know. Look, the reality is that I'm actually more looking to bring you on to work this job for me, as it were, in Chicago, because I told them, hey, I know a guy who might be able to help us, especially because they told me that they couldn't. I don't know. I asked them why they couldn't just tap into the resources in Chicago, and they were like, what resources? And I was like, what resources? And they're like, no, seriously, there are no Hakata in Chicago. And I was like, what? So you'd be I don't know, the golden goose, as it were, a unique entity inside the jewel of the Camarilla.
Interesting.
I guess.
I was just going to say, fortunately enough, we've hit a bit of a dry spell, as it were, and I can imagine that Matthew would be excited for a change of scenery. I think he's worn out the luster of Sin City, as it were.
Well, if he ever needs to come back and see the sparkly lights for a night or two or a week, I can always fly him back out here if you need. So,
I'm sure between my resources and yours, if he really needs a vacation, we can manage.
Yeah, or if he just needs to pick me up, I have to take you to this part of Chicago. Fantastic. It's called Boys Town. I was taken there by one of my associates. So the name is a little odd, but still. Anyway, sorry. So am I to take this as a yes, you want to come to Chicago and do your old friend a solid?
I do need to I'm going to need to speak to my sire. I can't imagine that it would necessarily be an issue. It's just more so he kind of likes to know, what's going on. And if he were to have something interesting for me here and I wasn't here all of a sudden, that could turn very, very bad.
I gotcha. The old fang and chains, as it were.
It's nothing like that. I think it's more so that you don't want to see him bored.
Nicholas, you have to learn what a joke is.
I used to know jokes.
Used to. So I'm sorry. No. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you're willing to do this for me. I mean, we can work out some sort of payment in the future if you want. You can tell me what you want from me, or if you don't want anything, if you just want the mystery, then that's just as good to me. But I'm willing to help you out if you help me out. What was my other stuff? Oh, right. So since you said you'd do this for me, I need to let you know about Chicago because it's important. And I don't want you to cross any of the lines that are no's. So don't go to the Succubus Club. There's a cemetery called, I think, Resurrection Cemetery. Don't go there unless you have friends with you. I don't know. We went there. It's confusing, but apparently there's a creature there. I don't know. What was the third one? Lake Spirit, I think. Don't go hang out at the lake. There was a fourth one. I'm sorry. It's been a lot. Oh, sorry. The fourth one is that Helen of Troy and Menelaus of like Sparta are real and they exist and live in Chicago. So that's why you don't go to the Succubus Club.
Is the Succubus Club in Boys Town?
No, thankfully, no.
Should be easy to avoid then.
Yeah, exactly. See, they were like, don't go to the Succubus Club. And I was like, okay. And then I found out later that it's because Helen of Troy lives there and will eat your soul or something. It's all confusing. But, you know, I will say, I'm going to have Mr. Rond take you to Blue Velvet. You would love it.
Mr. Ron.
Yeah, Mr. Rond is one of my friends in Chicago. She's a treat. But have her. I will ask her to take you to Blue Velvet because it would blow your mind.
Yeah. No, I think this is definitely something I've heard of this resurrection cemetery, but you know, and he kind of smirks with a little chuckle that's extremely unsettling. You know, ghost stories.
Apparently I don't know, one of the other people in the group, they saw a ghost there. So somebody's dead wife. It was weird. I didn't see shit. So that's not my wheelhouse. You know how it be.
Well, you know me. Ghosts have never been something I've strayed too far away from in these nights.
And as he says that, you see one of the glasses, one of your liquor glasses, kind of slide down the bar it's actually set on. Just move down the bar a bit.
Pardon me, I believe my sister may be having one of her moods.
Well, if your sister needs something, I mean, I'm sure. Is that something? I don't know how that works. So.
And he just kind of like looks towards the glass, but it's more like out of like a side glance sort of thing, and just.
And after you said that, the glass actually moves back to where it was.
Do you need something, Izzy?
Nothing else happens.
Yeah. I mean, if she needs like a ghost case, and I'm sure that could be arranged. How would that work? See, now I'm starting to wonder. I'm like, is that a business potential? But that feels more like a scam.
My experience has generally been that once you have convinced them to work with you, it's not always in your best interest to let them go. It's a little trickier than that.
I'm sorry. Like I said, this is I'm glad that you know about this stuff, because like for me, I hear ghosts and I'm just like, okay, you know, no offense to Izzy, I believe you said she can play with the glass if she wants to, as long as she's not like doing the exorcism up in here, or not exorcism. One of those other movies where they stuff, I don't know.
Poltergeist.
I don't know.
Trust me, at this point, if I could control what Izzy does, I would. I don't know that I would anyway.
When you say that, you actually get a chill that you're used to feeling right up your spine, as if to you that means she's laughing at you.
Oh, dear sister.
Look, I'm going to be heading back to Chicago in probably 2 weeks, week and a half. I will be in contact with you. so you can get your affairs in order, do what you need to do, talk to your sire, see the the strip while you're stripped, whatever it is you want to do before you head out. We can fly to Chicago in my jet, and then that way you don't have to ride commercial or anything. And it's more secure. So, because we won't be flying into O'Hare, I believe it is. So, yeah, SI problem. So,
oh, they're getting brave. Stupid, maybe.
Yeah. The SI problem in Chicago is an interesting one that I'm looking forward to cracking that little nut with my friend Miss Durand. So yeah, she's got that strong, powerful woman energy, and I fucking love it. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, Nicholas. I've taken way too much of your time. I really appreciate you doing this for me. So
Oh no, not at all. Like I said, it's come at a fortuitous time. Like I said, I do believe Matthew will be excited for the change in scenery, if nothing else. I don't remember the last time we were in Chicago, so it must have been.
It's probably changed a lot since then. I would say recommend that you bring a coat or two. I mean, you don't need it. It's more of, so that the
keeping up appearances.
Exactly. Exactly. It's important. So no, yeah. Sorry, I will let you go. I got to take care of my business from my end for the next, week or two. I will contact you, or you can contact me. This has got a new number on it, and she gives Nicholas a different business card. Contact me there when you want to. If you need, we can leave early because it shouldn't take me too long. But yeah,
whenever, like I said, I imagine it shouldn't be too hard. With Matthew and I, we're used to traveling. I think this is the longest we've stayed in any one space, so we're practically living out of suitcases longer than we should have been already.
Well,
but I'll talk with him. Like I said, I'm sure he'll be fine. And then if something comes up, because again, accidents happen. If we need to leave sooner, let me know.
Accidents. It's not every day a pile of bodies falls in your lap. So,
No, I think that was Wednesday for me.
Oh, busy boy. Nice.
You know what they say, when it rains, it pours.
And you said you didn't know jokes. Come on, Nicholas. Come on.
Interesting.
I
think I've been taking up too much of your time. I'll be on my way, I suppose. Just let me know when you're ready to go.
Okay. All right. Like I said, have fun. Do what you need to do. There's no big rush. Like I said, 2 weeks is about my max before I need to head back. So.
Well, sounds fun. And, the great thing about our condition is they've got plenty of time.
Well, nighttime at least.
True.
Come on, that was a joke, Nicholas. We'll have to work on your sense of humor in Chicago because you need a sense of humor in Chicago because that shit is hilarious. So
we'll work on it, I suppose.
just trust me. And Genevieve gets up and thank you again for seeing me. Thank you again for agreeing to this. It does
not
mean
at
a
all.
lot.
It's good to see you again.
Well, you're going to be seeing a whole lot more of me because I want to see the pit with the bones in it. So, yeah.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet.
Oh, no, I have not seen it. A Tremere acquaintance, Mr. Akers, and believe it or not, in the Reformed Camarilla, a La Sombra, Mr. Cade, they witnessed the bones. So
Interesting. It's been a while since I've seen a La Sombra.
they're interesting to fight with. That was a new one for me. So yeah. I gutted a guy and he held his like skeleton up. It was weird. So
And like as you're describing all of that, like you can see like the twinkle in his eyes when you're talking about like bodies being held up, and just like the more detailed, the happier he gets.
tell you what, one of these nights, because I can see it. I see it in your eyes, Nicholas. One of these nights, I'll have Mr. Cade and I will do a demonstration for you. So
Now that sounds like a good time.
And as Nicholas exits the penthouse suite to start getting his own affairs in order and to go and meet with his sire to discuss his impending trip, Jenny has her own set of business. This is where we're going to end this particular intermission scene. And I'd like to thank Ivy Raven here for bringing Jenny, and like to thank Timber Brad for the very first scene of his new character, Nicholas, who is going to give Roscoe a run for the money on deadpan delivery. And we'll see how this one plays out. And see you for the next intermission, everybody. Good evening. And for this intermission, of course, I am the storyteller, Shanky McStabber.
And I am Stuart, and I am known as Ebonblade on Discord, and Shade Moriquend Ebonblade and most other things. And tonight I am playing Joseph Kerr of Clan Ravnos.
And this meeting actually it's set at the pit, in a back room of the pit. Joseph has been called to meet with his Baron to give a status update and also to receive, I guess you could call them, new marching orders. And as always, the pit is a lively place. Even in the back office, you could still hear the thump of the music coming from, well, the mosh pit, and thump of the bodies every once in a while. But Anita's actually sitting back in her normal office. She's got a new desk. She's had it about a month at this point, but she's got a new desk that she's got in front of her. And Maldavis is the one who brings you back there. And Maldavis, as you're going back, she's in the mood, Joe. Watch out.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for the warning.
Gotta warn you, she's been in the mood since Genghis left, so,
Just missing.
Yeah, he had some projects he was supposed to be doing, and he kind of let it all fall, chasing off after that skirt,
Billy Joel all over again.
Yeah.
With his Uptown Girl.
Yeah, we tried to warn him, but hey, if he wants to do it, that's what he's going to do, and we're just going to laugh at him when he comes back, with his damn hat in his hands and nothing to show for it. But,
True.
We go through phases. At least I've been told we do. I am a phase. But go on in. She's in the office.
No problem.
And when you step in the office, Baron Anita is actually behind her desk. And she's got stacks of paper from basically running the pit. Come on in, Joe. Have a seat.
Good evening. How are you this night?
That could be better, could be worse. Just a lot of stuff going on that I haven't been able to catch up and to get a final report, because I know you told me about Thea, and we've gotten confirmation. Yeah, there's no sight of her. So whatever Mr. Rand did after she took her that night, word is that Thea's gone missing.
I tried to keep my distance as much as I could, just helped and put them in the right direction and kept my hands clean. Yeah,
well, that's the good way to do it. That way, if it does come back, it's on them, not you. Or us, I should say.
Did you want to know what?
Yeah, you didn't get a chance to tell me what happened. You said you were going back out there dealing with Nathaniel shit, but you didn't get a chance to give me a rundown.
Yeah, I just sent a brief message. That was going to be a tricky one because, well, we'd be the first suspects. Thea, not so much, but definitely with Nathaniel. So I thought, well, anyway, interesting thing. I've got. It's a busy night. A few strange things happened, but how could I explain? Well, to give you an idea, how much do you know about Roscoe? The Tremere.
Tremere. Oddly enough, we don't know a lot about him. He's not really been. He doesn't do a lot in terms of the politics of the city, and he really, from what I understand, he avoids his own damn chantry. So
He does. I've not seen him go very much myself.
No.
Well, he's very good at tracking people. But that's something to know. As long as he has an image to work off, he can track someone, which is actually how we tracked Nathaniel.
You mean he wasn't at that damn church he likes to hang out in?
Pretty much. Tracked him from that point onwards.
Mm.
But I'm thinking actually of seeing what I can find out off Roscoe. But I'll probably have to buy a book off him, more than likely, from his bookshop. But we'll see how that goes.
I haven't seen where his new bookshop is. I heard about he had another, I have to keep appraised of what's going on. And he had another bookshop, it burned down. But I haven't seen his new one yet.
I've not actually been in it, but I have seen it. Not much different from the other one, to be fair.
I mean, Tremere are stuck in their ways, right?
True. But back to Nathaniel, anyway. Roscoe tracked him. I followed. We all followed. We went to a place quite close to the Goblin Roads, not quite there. It's like an old garage. I think it is south of the city. I can't remember exactly now. It seemed to be a disused garage. I kept my distance. I wasn't going into the place in case they had cameras. Best to stay out of it. And, did I tell you the whole Lamar thing, what had happened with him?
You gave me a little thing that you thought Nathaniel might have snatched him somewhere, but that I didn't get any real detail.
No, it was a bit strange what had happened. Too many coincidences. For example, Lamar, one of my ravens had reported after we dealt with the fear situation. Oh, that's a point. They've got a new member of the coterie.
I mean, Destiny left. So there's 5 of them now?
Let's see. We got Roscoe, Jackie. I think Sam drove out of the city. I don't know where he went.
We heard a rumor he was leaving town for a bit.
But I don't really know what he went with. They didn't seem bothered about it, so it's probably something they've arranged. Yeah, they've got a new member, Genevieve Shoots or something along those lines. I think from LA. Not LA, I tell a lie. Vegas, Las Vegas, I suspect. Seems to know a little bit about casinos and that sort of thing. A gangrel.
A gangrel?
Yeah.
You don't got many of those here. That seems kind of odd.
Well, that's the impression I got. I wasn't actually told what clan she was, but she grew claws and could hit hard.
Yeah, that sounds like the gangrel types.
Pretty much, yeah. But I'd say stronger than normal. She almost ripped a guy in two. Well, Fear's Ghoul, actually, but...
Well, I mean...
Anyway.
Is it... I don't even remember his damn name, but that one that was like following around like a puppy?
Pretty much.
Because they came to the pit not too long ago, and... Yeah. It was causing problems.
Yeah, he seemed to be. She had a ghoul as well, Evan. Do you need me to provide visual aids by any chance?
Not right now. If I need them,
I
I'll
can provide them. But
you said there's a lot of coincidences?
Yeah, for example, Lamar had been held by Nathaniel, I think it must have been a few days. I just thought it was rather strange that my ravens that had seen him crash his car into the lake, where Nathaniel just happened to be, happened to report it to me a few days after it had happened, just when I was finishing off with the fear situation. Just whilst I was still with the coterie.
That does seem a bit odd.
Normally I hear of something like that I would have heard within a day or two straight away, but this was like 4 days earlier, at least.
Yeah, so how did Nathan get him? Or Nathaniel, I should say. How'd that little shit get him? Fuck it.
I've got no idea. I didn't have a chance to chat to Lamar.
I'm going to have to look into that one then, because...
But that's one thing I want to chat to him again, but...
Your friends are normally very prompt.
That's what I mean. I don't like the fact that it took a few days and they happened to arrive just then. Anyway, we tracked Nathaniel. My plan was stay outside, scout anything for unusual entrances, if he makes a break for it, to see where he goes, but actually keep my distance. And as soon as they leave the garage with Lamar, my plan was, as soon as they turn up with Lamar, assuming no sign of Nathaniel, thumbs up from him, I'm out of there.
Good plan.
Well...
Yeah, I have a feeling that from the way you're saying it, it sounds like the plan went off with a slight hitch.
How much do you know about the history of Chicago?
I mean, I've been here for, almost 60 years now.
Do you know anything about the really old vampires of a city? By really old, I mean the ones that make those that we know about in the city now look like kids.
I'm not going to go into too much details. Suffice it to say, there was one here for a while. But my impression is he's dead.
Well, no. Well, anyway. This is difficult. I wasn't quite sure with how much to tell you. But, well, what the hell? I'll just tell you everything. Safest bet. There seemed to be another vampire with Nathaniel.
Okay.
I didn't see Nathaniel. Not at first. The coterie left the building with Lamar. Everything seemed to be going fine. I was asked to come and help him with the body. Not the body. Oh, sorry. Yes, the body. And
I was about to back you up on body.
And I thought, that's really strange. What have they got a body which wasn't Nathaniel? So I wandered over, sort of helped him with it, and now this is where it gets even stranger. I helped load the body into a car, which was then driven from the site to a location none of us know where it went. The car returned, and we have a memory gap of 2 hours.
What do you remember of the body? Anything?
Yeah, I can remember what it looks like. There's a strange necklace thing on it, but that's about it. The clothing looked slightly out of date, but I wouldn't have said really old. Mediterranean looks, possibly.
Would the necklace have been shaped like a tooth, made of onyx?
It was black. Yeah.
God damn it.
And we sort of have a memory gap. I have, of 2 hours.
I bet you do. Oh,
and it's
sucker.
not... I've got... it. Now, I've met briefly at least one very old kindred a long time ago when I was in the UK.
I don't know if you've met one this old.
I don't think I have either. And I don't understand what's been going on. I've tried my best to stay out of this sort of thing.
How much do you know of the other parts of the history of this area?
Chicago?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing till I arrived.
Let's just say that what you found was a backer of Prince Loden. And he died about the time Loden fell. That's what my understanding is now.
But nobody saw him die.
Well, no. But how can I explain this? Well, nobody saw him die, but some associates of mine didn't realize they were under his influence until it snapped and was gone.
The puppets.
And then suddenly they realized they'd been controlled for a while. And when it snapped, well, I mean,
They would have realized.
Yeah, those kinds of controls don't snap unless the one holding them dies. But you've just described, well, as much as I know about who it is. Well, I know a little more, but I'm not going to share that part. My advice to you is forget it.
Seems I already have.
Yeah, it seems like a safer bet. You don't want to get tied up in this. The last time we were tied up in this, well, Modius fell. Then Juggler disappeared.
Yeah, this is a bit over my head.
Yeah.
By
Well,
thousands of years.
yeah. While I've got you here, though, remember that Luke thing I had you doing? Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need to step off that one. We got to leave Loden alone, or Luke alone for a while.
No
I've worked a
problem.
deal with somebody. We still get him. He's going to pay for what he did. We are going to wait for now. He's very useful to someone who has offered us favors in return for letting him live a bit longer.
No problem at all. He was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah.
He seemed to be a bit, there's a lot more to him than I first thought.
Oh, there is a lot to him, but
he kept giving us the slip, and
that's because he has help. He's got a friend that, like I said, we have made a deal that we can have him when this individual is done with them. But until then, we're going to go hands off. From my point of view, I mean, we risk nothing. We'll still get him.
Yeah.
And if this person pulls off what they want to pull off, we've made a friend and an ally that'll help us. And if not, we can always go after Luke later. It's not like he's going anywhere.
So it's like a win or a win-win situation.
That's right.
All good with me.
Yep.
But I'm trying to think, what's something else I was going to mention? Oh, yes. After the whole thing with the body being shifted, I hadn't actually had confirmation about Nathaniel, because I hadn't actually had a chance to speak to Kotri. It just, things didn't make sense at that point. I'd lost 2 hours. They'd lost 2 hours. I'm assuming that anyway. The ghouls lost 2 hours. And we just all went our separate ways as soon as everything was done.
If you want to,
So,
you could go watch his church. Mike tell you if he's around still.
oh no, I checked. I went into the garage.
Oh,
I thought I'd better check to see what was in there.
did you find anything?
Pile of ash.
Well, I'd like to get upset, but I won't. I think it's that little fucker had it coming to him. You weren't here,
Yeah.
but he caused so much fucking problems for us. Loden would
Yeah,
just
he's
let
a-
him come through and just do whatever he wanted. Like literally what he wanted.
Yeah, he had like a miniature church type thing in the basement of his garage. There's like a big cross with chains
mean-
and stuff on, which
He's a cultist. I mean,
He
you saw he was living in that fucking church And if you'd ever talked to him, he was always spouting like Bible verse. And
Yeah, I never spoke to him.
and
Luckily.
I tried to, I actually spoke to him one night and I explained to him, if you're so hooked on the Bible, what do you think of yourself then? Because, well, and you don't want to hear the amount of just ranting and raving about a curse and being slighted
Bible
by
bashers.
God. Jesus. It was horrifying.
One thing that was interesting about that place, well, I say interesting, it wasn't particularly nice. There's some weird blood magic over the place. I'm assuming it was blood magic. It was like it was difficult moving. Like everything was slightly sluggish for a moment entering the place. Just for a moment, but
I mean,
I'm assuming that's something to do with him hiding, but
I could always have Mal Davis go look. Trust me, she knows a bit when it comes to blood magic. We don't talk about it a lot, but she knows a bit.
I could do with chatting to Mal Davis a little bit to learn some of that.
Yeah,
Just not the actual practice of it, just the theory. It'll help me understand what I'm looking at.
yeah, you'll have to talk to Mal Davis about it. I mean, if it's that far out of town, it's not like it's anybody's domain. We don't have to worry about that because Mal Davis can't exactly step into Chicago at the moment. Actually, she hasn't been able to step into Chicago since right before Loden fell.
Oh,
At least not in the downtown parts. But
True.
if it's outside of town by the Goblin Roads, there shouldn't be any problem out there with her.
there is another option as well. I realised there was something going on. I wanted to make sure there's no one else involved. So I found some foxes that live nearby and just asked them to keep an eye on the place and let me know if there's any extra visitors that we didn't expect, just in case someone else was working with Nathaniel. And as far as I know, they've only had a couple of visitors.
Who are the visitors? I mean, obviously
Well-
you know.
Oh, I've got an idea. I could tell you who I think they are straight off, or I could tell you what the fox told me.
Okay.
But the fox is a different way of describing people. But I suspect it was Roscoe to check the place out with Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking if we need to know anything about the blood magic, Roscoe will probably know it.
I've got somebody actually close to Roscoe at the moment, but they don't know what we are. They don't know what we do. They're not that kind of close. They just keep tabs, tell me, he's unique in being not part of the chantry. I mean, part of the chantry, but not part of the chantry kind of a thing.
That's just strange because all the Tremere I've known back in Europe were pretty much either living in the chantry and rarely left, or they might have a haven outside and pop there now and again.
He's been seen with Sun Chi. He's actually friends with Tracy. He is a unique one for sure. So that's why I put somebody, keep an eye on him, close to him. I'll have to talk to her and see what, I mean, she can't ask him anything special, but maybe she can tell me if he keeps going that way.
True.
Yeah. Oh, well.
But I'll play it by ear. I'm going to see anyway. I'll see a man about a book.
Talk to Mal Davis when you leave here about what you saw there. She might have some insights. I don't do that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
but she might. She
I know a
probably
little
knows
bit, but
better
not
questions to ask.
Fair enough.
So,
You'll know exactly.
Yep.
Is there anything else you'd like to know?
No, just remember, drop the Aluk thing. Just stay away from him for now. We'll
Is there
get
anything you'd like to know about the coterie I might know? Any questions about?
Not yet. I know. I fully expect when nothing is done about Aluk, I fully expect Miss Doran to be visiting again. I haven't decided if I'll meet with her yet over that. I'll probably tell Mal Davis to just see her back here next time she shows up. But I know she's not going to be happy at the Luke situation, but look, I may have hinted or by not telling her no, hinted that we might take care of him, but we didn't do a time frame. And with no time frame engaged, we're still going to get him.
Yeah.
It's just
handy thing.
Yeah, it's just it's in our interest to do it slower.
Yeah.
And if he can be given to us later, well, that's even easier, isn't it?
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
Well, about the coterie, anyway. The whole fear thing. Jackie has a ghoul that she was using. I'm assuming a new ghoul that not many people know about as bait for fear. Peter, I don't know a great deal about him. He seemed fine. I know about. I actually like him.
I've seen her before at Elysia, coming and going, and she's got. I mean, the one I've seen normally is driving her car.
Etienne.
I don't know his name. I hadn't seen him, but that one there seems very dangerous.
I was just about to tell you exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I've been in enough fights to recognize somebody who can handle their own, and he's extremely competent. It appears the way he moves.
I don't believe he's that keen on me for some reason.
If I can be honest, not many are.
Oh, thanks.
I mean,
you can be honest. I don't mind.
It's anyone who knows what you are automatically makes you're suspect to them, and those that don't know what you are wonder why they don't know what you are, which makes you suspect. You see, it's much easier to be like I am, just sitting here behind a desk.
It is, but no, Etienne, he's a dangerous one. He really is. I mean, he's not very talkative.
You sure he's a ghoul?
I haven't checked, but I'm going to.
Yeah, because I've only seen him a few times, and the few times I've seen him normally outside of Elysia, dropping her off or picking her up. And he doesn't carry himself like most of the kind around here.
Yeah, he doesn't seem at all talkative, but he was able to stake fear easily. I mean, easily, it was perfect.
He could be one of our kind. If not, I mean, I've seen...
If not, he's a very competent ghoul.
I've seen ghouls, old ghouls, that... Well, there used to be one around... Critus used to have one. I don't know if you've ever talked with Critus, the Primogen over there.
Toga guy.
Yeah, Toga guy. Yeah. Does philosophy. He used to have a ghoul that was pretty old, but that one, I mean, I don't know what happened to the ghoul. But yeah, when they get old, they get competent. But yeah, I've seen him before. She's got another one that she keeps low key, huh? I mean, that's smart of her at least.
Yeah, I suspect the one, I don't think he's kept low key, but...
Must be new.
Well, actually, yeah, he must be. He seems nice enough. I like him anyway. No. He's just...
there's an age gap when you get a new one. They're from a different time, different place. Even I've been around here almost 60 years now, and it's,
Yeah, I need to see if I can play cards with Peter.
Yeah.
And Genevieve's got a ghoul as well. Evan. Again, I don't know a great deal about him. Seems nice enough, but he's very good at turning over properties. Which turned over Fear's property.
Oh, well, I mean...
And gave me some bags of stuff to dispose of or to have my ravens
Okay, so what you're saying is you kept it, right? I know you. Come on. You kept it.
Quite a bit of it was silver. So silver's useful.
I mean, hold on to some of the pieces. We may have a use for them at some point. If people start asking about her disappearing, some evidence planted in the right place.
That's a good point. I haven't actually sold anything yet. I was going to ask you whether we've got quite a bit of silver cutlery. Oh, I say we. I've got quite a bit of the silver cutlery. Could have it melted down to make bullets.
Yeah. I mean, that's useful, though. I've heard a rumor that the war is about to be over. I haven't gotten it confirmed, but I'll find out for sure on that in a few days. That's what I've heard.
The only way they'd
Bobby,
end it is if they've got someone to blame.
I know Bobby's in part of your coterie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he stopped in and said there was something big going down with the lupine piece, and he thinks it's a Primogen Council shakeup.
Could be.
But be careful with Bobby right now, because he said that Miss Durand and Miss Schutz were eyeballing him the other night in Blue Velvet. And Bobby's not he's smart, but he's not the most skilled at intrigue.
He's smart, but he's not cunning.
Right. So be careful. If he goes down and gets caught, don't get caught with him.
No.
Hell,
I can communicate with him without any obvious direct means. Anyhow.
Since we're talking this, if it comes down to him, he can be sacrificed to keep you clear and keep us clear.
Okay.
He's useful, but I'm not going to let him bring us down or get us in a problem. So I know he's your coterie mate, but if it comes to it,
I'll try and see what I can do, but it is what it is, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That Jackie person.
Yeah, she's interesting.
That's one way to put it.
Yes, she's dangerous.
Exactly what I was thinking. I could put it.
But on the plus side, she's dangerous, but not in an uncontrolled way. She's methodical.
Yeah.
As long as we don't give her reasons.
True. Yeah, I had concerns about her, actually. But
be concerned. After her first meeting here with me, I called in some favors and found out little bits and pieces. She's connected in Europe. She's old school.
By any chance?
I don't know how far up it goes, but I know from one of my sources she's actually been in Queen Anne's court before, and not as a courtier.
I've briefly been at one of their functions. Briefly, as in I decided to leave very quickly before.
She has spoken personally with Queen Anne.
Yeah.
So that should tell you something.
Yeah, she's Queen Anne's not the most friendly of people.
No, and she also wasn't one that talked with the commoners, as she called them.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
But I don't know what her other connections are above that, other than, stuff you've told me. Her and Dredd seem to be getting along well.
Yeah, he does seem to be giving her a lift now and again on his bike, which I thought was a bit
she's not, hanging out with Tyrus, that fucking asshole.
Yeah, out of the wolf pack, to be fair, you got Nitro, who's a bit of a,
she's a hothead. She's young.
Fanatic.
She's young.
Tyrus, he's old and not quite right, so...
Dredd's the most reasonable of the group, honestly.
Yeah, if you need to talk to anyone, negotiate with anyone, he's probably the reasonable one, as you say.
He's the one that, when we generally don't talk to him because of Tyrus starting shit, but once in a while, there's interests align, and we go through Dredd. But I got paperwork to do, so I'm gonna let you go out of here. I
shall escape.
Yep, you can keep tabs on the coterie a bit. Make sure that they're okay. Keep an eye on them. I know they did some stuff, and generally you can't be blamed for it, but I want to make sure that they don't pin it on you anyway.
True. There is a bit that Jackie, as I said, was a strange one. It was like I'm going to try and avoid talking to her as much as I can. She seemed to be too good at
reading people. Mm-hmm.
Reading people and asking the sort of questions you don't want to answer. Not the questions you expect to be asked.
We
but
owe her,
sort of...
so we're not going to start problems with her. She did us a favor, so...
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, I'm just going to be careful around her.
They're still making waves that... when we're paddling out here trying to to eventually find a wave to ride back in, keeping an eye on who's starting the waves is important. So
It is.
keep an eye on them for me.
Yeah. Well, I just found the conversations with Jackie is sort of very cat and mouse. And it seemed the longer the conversation went along, I sort of started to feel a bit more like the mouse.
Yeah, that's how it went down when she visited me.
Yeah,
That's
so
why I got a new desk. I got a little angry. Not at her, but over the info she had for me. It
small
happens.
doses.
Yeah. Yeah. But
But,
I got to get back to my paperwork, so I will see you
it
later.
is. I shall escape.
Speak with Mal Davis on your way out. Talk to her privately
Will
about
do.
what you saw down in that crypt, because I'm sure she will think of things to ask you that I can't, I don't do that stuff. It's not my thing.
Yeah. And I'll see what I can find out. But anyway, take care.
Yep.
I shall escape.
And she actually stands up, shakes your hand as you're getting ready to leave, and says, we'll talk again probably in another week or two once I get some caught up on other things. Like I said, I've got some deals in the work to help us out. So, and as you leave the office, you go and find Mal Davis. And this is where we're going to end our intermissions. Thank you, Evan Blade, for staying up late on a Friday night to help record this. And
No problem.
can't wait to see everybody next week with season 5, because shit's going down too. So good night, everybody. Thank you, everyone, for coming out to watch season 4 intermissions. Please join us over on our Discord right over here in chat right now. We have an amazing community. We cast all the shows for our games right here. So please pop over, hang out a bit. You might enjoy your stay a little while. Please check out our list of friends over here as well. These are other channels that we really like to support because they put out amazing content. Okay. Also, you want to get your season 4 merch? You're running out of time. Season 5 merch is going to be hitting the store, and once it does, you've missed out on your chance for season 4. If you want to support the channel, of course, we now have a KoFi, and with the KoFi, of course, you can give something to us. We don't lock anything behind the KoFi because we as a community don't believe in separating everyone into, those who pay and those who don't. But if you want to give back to the studio without having Twitch take half the money, consider supporting us on our KoFi. If you want to give to the players you've seen in the stream, of course, bits and donations, they go to the players, not to the studio. That's just our way of helping out the players and trying to compensate them for the time they spend playing with us. Also, as well, if you want to catch our back content, right over here in the links in chat, catch out our YouTube. Got a number of channels there. It's ours, of course, the McStabber Studios. If you want to catch our back episodes of like Curse of Strahd or the Haunted Chronicles series, that's over on the Haunted Chronicles YouTube. And of course, if you want to catch our London Esoteric Society, which is Call of Cthulhu, or our Ishvel, which was our previous D&D 5e stream, that's over on the Ishvel channel, of course. And this week's schedule, again, it's December. We're kind of running light. We're giving people a break for the holidays. Tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, we have Curse of Strahd, Tormented Souls. That is run by Tamshu, and it's his Haunted Chronicles crew back once again, this time going through the dark world of Ravenloft. So tune in for that. That's some great stuff. And then we are off all week, and we return next Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern for Windy City After Dark, Season 5's premiere. Episode 1 of Season 5, everybody. So, I'm getting ready for that. That's going to be fun. As we always close these things, please, everyone, mental health, it's not a joke. It's not a laughing matter. Please take mental health seriously. Check in on those around you. Check in on friends, family, loved ones, especially during the holiday season, because a lot of people aren't okay, and some people just need someone to reach out and speak to them, to let them know that they care, to keep them off the edge, And if you do suffer from mental health issues, like a lot of us, it's okay to not be okay. Okay? Mental health is health, and it's okay to not be okay. Reach out to those around you if you need to talk to somebody, and if you can't, look right now in chat. We have a list of names and numbers that you can call or text 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. These people will listen to you without judgment, without kind of reservations about it, and try to help you out. And if you're not in America, right now there's also a link in chat that actually points to a website that lets you find support in your country. Because, again, mental health is health, and it's okay to not be okay. And there's nothing wrong with admitting once in a while we need our assistance to others. And since my wife isn't here, I'm going to handle her part. Please get your COVID vaccinations, get your booster shots. I know you just want it to be over, and the only way for it to be over is for us all to get vaccinated. So please do that. And I do thank you all for coming, and I will see you next week for Seasons 5 premiere, because, oh shit, some bad things are coming, and a lot of fun is going to happen for sure. So good night, everybody.